I'm tired of you. I'm tired. I'm so tired. Those words shook out of Emeka. He was staring at the bed. The spot where his wife Zainab usually slept was empty. Totally. The sheets smooth and cold. It looked like she hadn't even been there. She was gone. Again. No little notes, no text message saying, be back soon. Just silence. Outside, the Lagos night was doing its usual thing. A car horn, beeping in the silence. Someone shouted names of things they were selling, and he could just make out the tapping of someone walking fast in high heels. But inside the apartment, every sound felt loud and sharp, pushing against his chest until it hurts. He dragged his hand over his hair. What in the world? What are you doing, Zainab? He muttered to the quiet room. He wanted to scream. He wanted to get truly angry, to bang his fist and demand she come back and explain. But under all that anger was a horrible tight knot of fear. Emeka knew his wife better than anyone, and he knew that the small things had been stacking up like a broken pile of stones. Quick trips out late at night, the way she snatched up her phone when he walked near, her eyes sometimes looking far away like she was floating in a different world he couldn't touch. He walked into the living room, checking behind the chairs, half hoping she would just step out of the shadows with a quick laugh and a simple, relax, I just went for a walk. But no, she wasn't there. The only thing left was the heavy, thick quiet. It felt like the air itself had stopped breathing. And deep down, a little voice whispered the chilling thoughts. She's hiding a secret, and it's a bad one. The next morning, Lagos woke up loud outside. But inside their small flats, everything felt strangely calm. Emeka stood in the kitchen, just staring at the half-empty mug in his hand. The silence felt heavy. Then Zainab stepped out of the bedroom. Her hair was neat and a soft smile touched her lips. Morning, sleepyhead, she said easily, pouring some tea. She moved so gracefully, Emeka almost forgot the cold dread from the night before. Emeka tried to smile back, but it was weak. Morning. You didn't even call me, Emeka said. She gave a small, quick shrug. I was busy. Her voice was light, but Emeka saw her fingers shake, ever so little, as she held the teapot. He watched her closely. Breakfast was quiet, but it was nice. They joked about the simple things. Emeka making fun of her burnt toast. Zainab teasing him about how neat he kept his work tools. This normal everyday chat was like a gentle blanket over the big worry that had been nagging him. After eating, Emeka kissed her on the cheek and went out to his workshop, greeted by the noisy chaos of the city. Zainab watched him leave. As soon as the door shut, her face went blank. She quickly checked her phone and typed something, then quickly saved it in a private folder. He must not see this, she said to herself. The days went by like this, full of laughter, gentle jokes, quick touches, and quiet moments that felt almost perfect. But the nervousness stayed. Emeka started saying little odd things. Zainab's eyes would quickly look up at every sudden noise outside. He heard the soft click of her boots on the floor, even when she said she was relaxing. Her voice would suddenly get sharp when someone called her name. But despite these strange moments, their love grew stronger. Emeka felt pulled to her in a way he couldn't stop. He loved her laugh, the sweet sound of her voice, and how she could make a boring afternoon feel special just by being there. One evening, as the city lights of Lagos began to twinkle, Emeka looked across the dinner table at her. You know, he started, speaking slowly. Sometimes I just wonder how I got this lucky. Zainab gave him a small, shy smile. Lucky? For having to deal with me? More than that, he insisted, reaching out to hold her hand. Lucky to have you, even when you run off on me. She squeezed his hand hard and gave a forced laugh. Emeka didn't see the dark shadow hiding behind the smile. He didn't see the secret word she was keeping or the life that was waiting for her outside their home. And so the days kept turning. Love, jokes, and tiny cracks in their calm, growing slowly like a big storm gathering over the city skyline. Weeks rolled on. Lagos was still loud and messy. Traders shouting, buses roaring like angry metal beasts, and the sharp sound of cars stopping fast. But inside Emeka's heart, a slow, quiet storm was gathering speed. The small things now felt too big to ignore. The late night calls where her phone would ring at night and she would instantly silence it the moment he walked by. The bad excuses where she would go out and come back hours later with reasons that sounded weaker and weaker. Just running errands, a friend needed me, traffic was crazy, she would say. He tried hard to believe her, but every excuse was like a thin piece of paper about to weep. One evening, Emeka was working late at his shop. The smell of burning metals, which usually calmed him down, but not that night. His phone buzzed, and it was a message from a number he didn't know. She's with us. Job is happening. No idea when she'll be back, the message read. His heart stopped. He stared at the screen. His mind went wide. He didn't know what the words meant, but he definitely knew it was about Zainab. The very next day, he decided to follow her. Not closely, but carefully, staring far back. He followed her through the messy Lagos streets. He watched her with a clear purpose, her eyes constantly sweeping the road and the buildings. She moved like a twin soldier. Then she got into a fancy black SUV. The men standing near it were dressed the same way, sharp, disciplined, and they just got her silent nods. Emeka felt his chest shrink with panic. He wanted to run out and yell at her, but he stayed hidden, watching until the SUV vanished. He walked home shaking. He had no words left. Back at the apartment, Zainab greeted him with her usual calm smile. Long day, my love, she asked, walking into the kitchen. Emeka said nothing. He watched her every move now. He noticed how her back stiffened every time she heard a sound outside. He saw how her fingers would twitch, ready for a fight, almost without thinking. The tension between them became thick. Emeka swallowed his questions, letting them boil inside him like hot oil. Zainab felt it too. She stopped meeting his eyes as much, and sometimes he saw a quick flash of fear in her face. Not for herself, but for him. One night, Emeka finally pushed a little. Zainab, you have to tell me. You're hiding a big secret from me, right? She froze. Her hand grabbed the edge of the table tightly. Emeka, her voice was soft, like she was begging him to stop. I can't tell you yet. You're scaring me, he admitted. I feel like the woman I love is a total stranger. I'm still me, she whispered fiercely. The same Zainab you fell in love with. I promise. But promises felt like fragile glass next to this huge mystery. As days passed, Emeka started watching everything she did. He saw the small military-like way she did things, folding clothes into perfect squares, checking the lock twice, giving sharp, quick looks to strangers on the streets. Little pieces of puzzle he didn't understand were starting to connect, pieces that both fascinated and terrified him. And then one evening, the quiet tension completely broke. A loud noise and shouting outside the apartment pulled Emeka's attention. Zainab ran to the window, her eyes wide with alarm. Emeka followed, his heart hammering in his throat. Across the street, he saw men in uniform looking up and signaling her. And for the first time, he saw Zainab move with a speed, a readiness, and a sharp focus he had never witnessed. Something inside him both crashed and lifted at the same time. Fear, amazement, and a sudden desperate need to know the truth. The big reveal was finally happening. He could feel it in the air. It was long past midnight. Emeka couldn't sleep. He couldn't eat. Every tiny noise in the apartment felt huge. The fridge buzzing, the floorboards quaking, the low sound of cars outside. He found Zainab in the living room, neatly folding her clothes with the strange, careful way he did notice. The practiced way her hand moved sent a cold shiver down his back. Zainab, his voice was low and shaking. I can't live like this anymore. Every time you leave, every time I hear things, I don't get. I feel like you're slipping away from me. She looked up quickly, her eyes wide with fear and guilt. Emeka, it's not what you think. I don't care what it is, he snapped, walking closer. I need to know the truth. Who are you really? Why do you disappear for hours? Why does it feel like I don't even know my wife? Her lips started to shake. She swallowed hard, struggling for words. I wanted to tell you. I wanted to so many times, but I couldn't risk your life. I couldn't risk us. Us? Emeka's voice broke. You think hiding things protected us? I can't breathe, Zainab. I can't trust what I don't understand. She took a step back, holding up her hands like she was guiding herself. Her eyes begging, Emeka, please. Please let me just explain. He wanted to run. Part of him was screaming to leave, to escape the fear of the unknown. But the other part, the one that loved her with all his heart, held him firmly in place. I am part of the Nigerian Armed Special Forces, she finally said. Her voice trembled, but it was steady. The jobs I go on, they are very dangerous. I can't tell you everything yet. I wanted to keep you safe. That's why I went away. Why I lied. Not to hurt you, but to keep you alive. Emeka felt his legs give way. His chest felt tight, like someone was squeezing it. He stared at her, trying to take in the truth. The woman he loved, the kind, funny, gentle woman who had stolen his heart, was living a life of danger he could never have imagined. You lied to me, he whispered, every single day. No, she said softly, stepping towards him. I didn't lie to hurt the man I love. I lied to keep him safe. I always come back, Emeka. I always come back to you. His hands were shaking as he reached out and touched her hands. The warmth of her skin, the real feeling in her eyes broke the anger inside him. He wanted to shout, but all he could do was tremble, stuck between fear, deep love, and a strange sense of realization. For a long, quiet moment, they just looked at each other. The city outside kept humming, not knowing what was happening inside. Emeka suddenly understood the deep truths. Love wasn't about knowing every detail. Sometimes it was about trusting, even when your entire heart was afraid. Finally, his voice rough and quiet, he whispered, I don't know if I can ever truly understand this, but I can't leave you either. Zainab's eyes filled with tears. She pulled him into a tight hug, hugging him close as if letting go would mean losing him forever. I promise, she whispered near his ear. I will always come back to you. Always. Emeka closed his eyes, letting the crushing weight of the truth mix with the warmth of her love. The fear was still there, a sharp clear danger, but beneath it, a tiny, growing trust started to take hold. Morning again climbed slowly over Lagos, painting the sky with soft, beautiful colors. The city woke up loud as usual, traders shouting, cars humming, and the wonderful smell of fried akara floating in the air. While inside the Makers and Zainab flat, there was a peace that felt fragile like a tin glass. They sat at the breakfast table facing each other. The silence between them was heavy, but this time around it felt okay. Emeka reached across and took her hand. She squeezed it back. The warmth of her palm made him feel steady and reminded him that some things like love didn't need a full explanation to be told. I still don't understand everything you do, Emeka admitted quietly. The missions, the everything. But I want to try. I want to be here with you. Zainab smiled, her eyes shining with relief. I will teach you what I can. Slowly. Just trust me. The days that followed were not easy. Zainab's secret life kept pulling her into dangers, and Emeka often waited. This time around, his heart pounding in his throat for her to come home safe. There were nights when the sound of the key turning in the lock made him jump, when every phone message felt like a test of how much courage he actually had. But their love, stubborn and strong, held them tight. They learned to talk without words, to see the smallest changes in each other's face, and to find comfort in tiny actions. A hand squeeze, a whisper, and back, a quiet smile across the room. One evening, after a particular scary mission, Zainab came back home late. Her boots were dusty, and her uniform had a small tear. Emeka was already in the kitchen making tea. She leaned against the doorway, tired but giving him a faint smile. You are home, he said, relief and a little bit of tiredness mixed in his voice. Always, she answered softly. I promised, didn't I? He walked to her, wrapped her in a tight hug, and whispered, I know, and I can't imagine living without you, no matter how risky it is. Outside Lagos, shone with evening lights, not caring about the private fears, fight and love stories happening inside all its homes. Inside Emeka and Zainab held on to each other, the city chaos forgotten, replaced by the quiet strength of their connection. They both knew the danger wasn't finished. Zainab's world was full of uncertainties, secret missions, and risks that could rip them apart at any second. But in the middle of it all, they found a delicate balance: trust, love, and the courage to face life together one day at a time. As they sat there holding each other, the quiet unspoken truth stayed with them. Some secrets are heavy, some lives are dangerous. But love, real love, sometimes survives even the biggest storms. Years passed, measured not by seasons, but by missions completed and safe returns. The fear never fully left Emeka, but it changed. It became a quiet companion, something he managed instead of something that controlled him. He learned to look at the news differently, to hear certain code words on the radio and simply check the clock, calculating Zainab's possible ETA. Their love grew into something resilient, forged in the heat of a dangerous secret. Their apartment remained their sanctuary, a place where the soldier disappeared and the wife returned, making burnt toast, teasing him about his neatness, and holding him fiercely through the night. One afternoon, Emeka was in their small workshop corner, shaping metal for a client. The air smelled faintly of oil and polished. He was working on a small sculpture, a piece of twisted steel symbolizing strength and complexity. Zainab was beside him, not folding clothes, but quietly organizing his toolbox. A calm domestic act. And then, the phone rang. Zainab this time around glanced at the unknown number. She looked at Emeka. a familiar shadow crossing her eyes. She didn't grab the phone in panic this time. Instead, she reached out, squeezed his hands, a promise, then stood up, taking the call in the other room. Emeka watched her go. He didn't ask where she was headed or when she did return. He just went back to his work, the scent of the hot metal and the oil filling the air. He knew she was going. He knew the weeks, but he also knew something else, something deeper than fear. He knew she would be back. Thank you for watching this amazing tales on Stream Tales TV and Stream Tales Africa. We are so happy you enjoyed these tales and you enjoyed the series. Please and please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It means so much to us and it helps us grow. Leave a comment in the comment section, like, what did you feel? Do you feel their love will sustain them, and do you feel their love will go through the test of time? And also, just a little question for you: if it were you, will you still marry a soldier? Can you marry a soldier? Alright, thank you for watching this amazing video. Please and please, like I said, don't forget to hit the like button, don't forget to leave a comment, don't forget to please subscribe and invite your friends, and also please share these videos so that we can also reach more audience, you and your family members. Thank you so much, and till our next video, we say we love you. This is Stream Tales TV, Stream Tales Africa, and we say bye bye.